Lady, for being with us today. I would also like to thank the members of the Governor's Advisory Council on Equity and Inclusion and the State Council on Affirmative Action for your support today. Additionally, I would like to welcome the Cabinet Secretaries and other state leaders to our ceremony. And to all of you watching on our live stream, thank you for joining us. And to all of our winners and to all of our nominees, congratulations. We're so excited to celebrate with you today, and I'm glad so many of your friends, families, and colleagues are able to celebrate with you as well. In my time working for the state of Wisconsin and in my current role as the administrator for the Division of Personnel Management, I've personally witnessed the unwavering commitment of state leaders and employees to improving diverse representation. That includes personally leading a team whose work was recognized at last year's ceremony, as well as other teams and individuals whose work was just as impactful. I've also had the privilege of seeing many memorable champions of diversity, equity, and inclusion who role model how to empower, to raise up differing points of view, to hold us to a higher standard, to challenge us to find ways to do better, and to turn ideas into action for the greater good. Today, we take the time to recognize and celebrate the success we've seen in several important programs, as well as the talents and contributions of state and university employees. Today, we recognize teams and individuals who do vitally important and truly challenging work in service to the people of Wisconsin, particularly as it relates to diversity and leadership. This event is more than a ceremony because each of these awards is meaningful to the nominees and winners, as well as everyone who learns from the contributions and the character of our winners. Today, we recognize these successes. We bring attention to the formal and informal leaders that move us forward together and the ways that they make that progress happen. It can be hard to drive change, to push through barriers, to do what is right, to make a sustainable impact, and to bring equity and diverse representation into our workforce and our communities. But these teams and individuals have done just that, and they have done it in truly impressive ways. Not only do our award winners have passion and commitment to service, equity, diversity, and inclusion, they put their passion into sustainable action. They make a real difference, and others have noticed. These teams and individuals, and all of those who were nominated for these awards, never set out to do this impactful work with the goal of seeking praise or recognition. That only adds to the importance of our sincere and public recognition today. Today, we step back from our day-to-day work for a short time. We pause, we reflect, and we say thank you to those who lead us in moving forward together and creating a more diverse workforce and community. In addition to celebrating our winners, I encourage all of us to make the most of this opportunity to learn and to find ways to apply their successes after today's ceremony on a grander scale. When we magnify the ultimate impact of each of our winners, we honor them at an even deeper level. All of us are part of this journey to create a more equitable Wisconsin. And I thank you for joining us in today's celebration of progress and accomplishments. And now, I am so proud to open our ceremony by introducing our governor, Tony Evers, who will provide some remarks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for that introduction, Jen, and good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be joining you once again to help celebrate the accomplishments of the state and the university employees on the advancement of diversity, inclusion, and equity in our civil service world. Especially over these past few years, we've taken even a deeper look at what equity and inclusivity means for our state. We stayed flexible in our work to achieve our shared vision of a Wisconsin that celebrates everyone, welcomes everyone, and that works for everyone. From recruiting, retaining, and supporting our workforce to breaking down health inequities and disparities, to building an education system that serves every student, we have accomplished so much together, but obviously we have lots more to do. And at the core of our work ahead of us is doing everything we can to employ a state government workforce that reflects the people that we serve every day. Diversity in civil service means diversity in our solutions too. When everybody has a voice and a seat at the table, because that's how we're going to build the future that we want to see for our state. One that is more just, more equitable, and where every Wisconsin family can thrive. Today, with the Diversity Awards and Virginia Hart Award, we recognize and celebrate the contributions of agencies, universities, and state employees who dedicate themselves to fostering diversity and prioritizing equity in their service, and whose accomplishments and passions set the standard for everybody to live up to. And it is the volunteer work of councils like the State Council on Affirmative Action and the Advisory Council on Equity and Inclusion who help support and recognize those efforts. Members of these councils are appointed to carry out the important mission of creating a more equitable and inclusive Wisconsin. No small work. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you now the Chair of the State Council on Affirmative Action, Adine Palau, to talk more about their important work. Adine, it's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. My name is Adine Palau, and I am the chair of the State Council. And thank you, Governor Evers, for the presentation. So the State Council was created in 1977 with the charge of advising the state workforce efforts around diversity and inclusion. The Diversity Award is one way that our council recognizes the efforts and best practices around our state. Our council created the Diversity Award in 2000 to honor those programs working in harmony toward the state equity and inclusion goals. Think about it, in 2000, way before diversity and inclusion were important for a lot of organizations, it was important for our state. So that's how advanced our state is. In the spirit of these awards, we are going to be talking about a lot of people that have been in the forefront of advancing equity, diversity, and inclusion for our state. They didn't shy away from the challenge, and they took on the charge to promote a more equitable workforce for our state. Their experience, their expertise, their drive, very important, their drive, have been paramount in achieving what we do and preparing our capacity to better serve the citizens of Wisconsin. With that same spirit, I want to also introduce you today to somebody that I have in the utmost esteem, somebody that is a key driver in our community and who was happy to step up when we had a last-minute conflict and somebody that was unable to make it because of illness. So in order to keep that part of our program, she was more than happy to join us. I'm pleased to introduce Vanessa McDowell, the Chief Executive Officer of the YWCA Madison. She's a proven leader in the human services area and somebody that for sure I invite you to meet. You'll be happy to connect and see all that she brings to the conversation. I'll say that she's the first Black woman to lead the YWCA in its 100 years history. She has received numerous awards for her commitment and leadership efforts to eliminate racism and empower women. Very important work. This year alone, she received the 2022 Humanitarian Award from the City of Madison and the county. She is a guiding beacon in the advancement of work towards equity for sure. Again, we want to thank you all for all that you do. We are really blessed to have your efforts, to have you driving our state forward. Thank you and congratulations to all. And with that, please join me in welcoming Vanessa.
All right. I am a little short, so you're right.
Let's help you out.
Okay,
I think can't you? Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm all right. Oh, well, thank you, Adine, and good morning, everyone. So I am happy to be here. Exactly, 24 hours ago, I got a call asking if I could come step in, and no problem, I am right across the street. So I said, no problem, I'll come in and have a few words. So I hope I can share with you some of my experiences and hopefully encourage you as you continue on. So I want to start by saying that I am excited to be in the room with so many folks that we work with, right? I see so many folks that do this work with us, alongside of us, and this work can't be done in a silo, right? And so it takes all of us to do this work. And so I am so glad to be in good company, which makes it easier to step in the gap for somebody at the last minute, okay? So good to see your faces. I wanted to talk a little bit about, just breaking some things down. I think sometimes in DEI work, we get so, how would I call it? Extra. We sometimes sort of over-explain things. We create so many different definitions for things, and sometimes I think we get lost in what we're talking about. And so I thought, let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So what is diversity? Now, bare minimum kind of understanding of diversity. It's variety, right? It's having a sense of difference, right? Even in this room, there's variety in here. But so many times organizations hire folks that look like them and think like them, right? Which is a lack of diversity. And that creates several blind spots in the work, right? I saw this quote on LinkedIn that I was like, should I say this? But I'm in good company. And the quote was simply saying, Beyonce, we all know who Beyonce is, right? Beyonce can find 24 black trombone players, but your company can't find a single black intern, associate, or board member. So that spoke to me about this whole idea of diversity, right? Oftentimes, we'll use that excuse, well, we couldn't find anybody, right? Or we went here and we went to one place and nobody applied, right? We're not gonna buy that anymore, right? We have to do better. So, representation matters, as we all know, right? It was an experience I had at a conference I was at, and I was so excited to be there thinking, okay, the topic was how the media portrays communities, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a good conversation. I look at the panel and who's up there, and I don't see not one person from my community. I'm confused. So I'm like, okay, I know we're gonna be talking about black people, right? Because we are portrayed terribly in the media, right? So I'm excited to have this conversation, and I didn't see any representation on that panel. And so afterwards, the person who put the panel on, I pulled them to the side and I said, hey, I just wanted to reach out and ask you a question because I thought it very disheartening that I didn't see any representation from the African American community on this panel. And her response was tripping, to say the least. Her response was, they were all busy. All of them? Every black person in America was busy, right? So I'm like, okay, something's not right here, okay? So it's just these experiences that we have, right, that are real life experiences about talking about this work and how so many times we make so many excuses for why we can't do something, right? So diversity, right? Then there's equity. Equity. We have this, we were at equality at one point, right? So this is what I mean by it's too much, right, sometimes. We were at equality, right? And equality, we figured out, was having, individuals and groups of people have the same resources and opportunities, right? So we were like, okay, we've arrived, we understand this, equality is what we want. Then we realized, you remember that fence picture that everybody uses? Drives me nuts. Then we realized that everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. So you can give a blanket sort of resource to someone, but someone is still at the bottom, right? So then we moved to equity. Said, okay, now everybody can see over the fence. See, I can see over this here podium now, right? Right? So we moved to equity. Well, what's interesting about that is now we're saying, okay, we're giving these sort of steps to people, right, that need that extra support, that don't have those same resources, didn't come into the situation with those same resources, right? So we think, okay, yes, this is important. We do need that. And one thing that happened to me, coming from YWCA, there were some things that I appreciate the fact that I was in the organization prior to becoming the CEO. So I was able to see some things before I got into that role that I was like, I have some questions about this. So when it came to equity, what I saw when I became the CEO, now I got access to everything, right? So I saw what people were being paid. Right. And I saw a huge discrepancy. Yep. And what I noticed was a lot of my white employees were being paid much more than my staff of color. So me being me was like, oh no, we got to do something about this. And so what I did was, I didn't listen to, now, no knock to my HR professionals in the room, but I wanted to trailblaze and do something completely different. And so what I did was I realized that, just take my directors for instance. You think about, say, a financial role, you think about a development role, these director roles, right? You think about an operations role, things like that. Those are predominantly filled by white people. The more direct service directors are usually people of color. But somehow we value more those that are in the development roles, those that are in sort of the financial roles, those that are in these operations roles, more than those that are doing direct service. I'm confused. Are they not doing, probably, direct service probably are really doing work. They are on the ground doing direct service work. So instead of the equality model, right? Because I could have given everybody a raise at the same amount. I didn't. I gave raises based on where I felt like the disadvantage was. So now, some folks got a pretty large, substantial raise, and some folks just got this much. But everybody got a raise, right? But I had to make it so we were starting to get back to level because we were so disjointed, right? So these are things that you need to have, right, to be able to move this work forward. Inclusion. I love this one because it is all over the place what people think about this one, right? What does inclusion mean? Well, I simply break it down to the word included, to be included. What does that mean? To be invited to be a part of a group, right? Well, there's something about this because inclusion is supposed to make space for a variety of voices, diversity of thought, and it's important in seeing things from different perspectives, right? But I've had experiences that made me think of inclusion in a different way. I've been invited to be a part of different committees, councils, thank you, Governor. And I'll give an example of a committee that I'm on. And I was invited to be on the committee, right? The committee is completely white. I am the only one of 2 people of color on the committee. It's a pretty large committee, and the table had already been set. So I come into this environment thinking, okay, I'm fired up, we're gonna make some changes, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And then I quickly was reminded that I don't belong here. We have been doing this for years. Don't come in here and change up some things. We're not interested in that. So I'm not too, like, okay, yeah, I appreciate being included, that you thought of me to be on this committee, but there's something missing here. So if you take a moment, some of us have had these experiences, right? I'm not alone in these experiences, where you've been in a space where you don't feel like you belong, you know you don't belong, and you're like, I'm just here as that black person, right? But I want to challenge us today to go a step further, and let's talk about belonging. Because for me, that's the goal of where we're trying to get in all of these things, is that we all feel like we're in a space where we belong. And so one of the things that creates those spaces is that you have to have the creation of that space together. This is not a table set already prior. This is, I'm a part of setting the table. How are we creating those environments in our different organizations and prospective agencies and things like that, that is allowing folks to show up as themselves, to be a part of creating the culture of our environments, the culture of our organizations? One thing that we did at YWCA was we created new values. We said, who are we as YWCA today? So we spent iterations of staff meetings, things. I wanted to get everybody's voice in the room to talk about, let's come up with who are we today. We came up with 4 values: humanity, community, growth, and restoration. That's who we are as YWCA Madison today. But we created and set that table together. So I encourage you that we continue to think about these things. It's great that we're in celebration. We need to celebrate the wins. And we also cannot rest on our laurels. We have to keep moving forward in this exhausting journey, but it's hugely necessary for us to move forward, and as the theme talks about today, to move forward together. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce Wisconsin's First Lady, Kathy Evers.
Good morning. Thank you for such inspiring words. It's unbelievable. Thank you. So I'm delighted to be here with you all today and to celebrate the recipients of the Virginia Hart Award and the Diversity Awards. For the past 39 years, Wisconsin has recognized and celebrated a civil servant who embodied the spirit and tenacity of Wisconsin's first woman cabinet member, Virginia Hart. Ms. Hart served as Secretary of the Department of Regulation and Licensing, Chairperson of the Department of Industry, Labor, and Human Relations, and Chairperson of the Labor and Industry Review Commission. So the award that bears her name honors unsung heroes in the state service, thus providing us encouragement and appreciation for all women in state government. The award seeks to recognize women who are sharing the following qualities: esteem from peers, acceptance of responsibility beyond their job description, extraordinary and sustained achievement of assigned tasks, performance recognition from clients, community service, self-improvement, overcoming obstacles to reach peak performance. This year, among the 44 nominations, the Award Selection Committee has named 2 honorable mentions to this award. And so I'm going to invite Tony up here to announce the 2 honorees.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Tom.
It's like that every day. Anyway, the first honorable mention is Alice DeLeo. Alice, where are you? Hi, Alice. Alice is an administrative law judge with the Equal Rights Division of the Department of Workforce Development and has served the people of Wisconsin in that role for 33 years. Alice is described by her peers as a passionate, engaged, and thoughtful role model. She's respected, and she is a respected, experienced judicial authority in her field. And she also goes the extra miles to ensure all her coworkers feel included and celebrated in the workplace. Alice is fair-minded, generous, and an asset to the Equal Rights Division and the entire employment law community. Let's give Alice a big round of applause. Alice. Thank you. Our second honorable mention today is Nicole Ream. Nicole, where are you? There you are. And Nicole is the administrator of the Division of Forensic Sciences within the Department of Justice. Nicole has implemented fundamental changes to the division since beginning her leadership role in 2017. She helped facilitate important structural changes to the Wisconsin crime laboratories that unified and streamlined workflow within the division, and she is described as a humble yet tenacious advocate and scientific leader. Let's give it up for Nicole and for both of our honorable mentions today. Now, it's my pleasure to present the winner of this year's Virginia Hart Special Recognition Award, and that is Trina Zano of the Department of Administration. Trina, where are you? Hey, there you are. Trina is the administrator of the Division of Enterprise Technology, and the achievements noted within her 25 years of state service were countless and inspirational. She has held numerous leadership roles in the state, including several appointments to project-oriented councils, helping devise solutions for IT security, and identifying cybersecurity risks to Wisconsin elections. Bless you on that one. So this is great. She also served, this is an important one also. She also served as the project lead for the team that built the state's only alternative care facility during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a round-the-clock position to which she stepped up to provide well beyond expectations. That's amazing work. Trina's nominators described her as a resourceful mentor who is invested in building a cohort of future IT leaders in Wisconsin, and tirelessly works to lift the voices of women in technology. She's a natural leader who actively uses her private and public sector experiences to create her own legacy of organizational change, transparency, and improvement. Trina is also active within her community, having served 9 years on Monticello's school board, bless you again, and frequently volunteered to coordinate and organize several local events for the Monticello Sports Booster Club, Lioness Club, and coach community Little League teams. When do you sleep, Nicole? Trina. Trina's glowing nomination for this award is only a glimpse into the important work and impact she has made throughout her nearly 25 years of dedication to serving the people of Wisconsin. Please join me in a big round of applause as we welcome Trina up to the stage to accept her award. Trina.
Fanfare, I don't like this. Thank you, Governor Evers, First Lady Evers, Lieutenant Governor Barnes for just the recognition about all of the diversity, great work that's going on in the state. It's great to have the support at the top, right, to do the things that we're doing. And yes, I do sleep. Maybe just a few hours, but I do sleep. When I look at all of the great women who are previous award winners, and those who have been nominated for this award in the past, and even those who have yet to be recognized, I am truly humbled. As many people know, I do not like the spotlight on me, and honored to even be thought of in this category of talent, leadership, and service. I had the support of so many people, some who took a chance on me, some who didn't have a choice. But I'm so appreciative of those who have helped me to get to this place in my life. To my family, Jeff, Mackenzie, who is not here today, and Hannah, who inspire me to be the best that I can be every day. To my parents and grandparents, who taught me to work hard and treat others the way you want to be treated. Sorry. By giving of yourself first. That was always an important message from my family members. Bless you all. And those who are still here with us today. To all of my friends, family, peers, staff, and leaders, like Secretary Blumenfeld, Deputy Secretary Patton, who couldn't be here today, and my own team. All of them around me remind me that by having great relationships, we can achieve great things. I want to say thank you to all of you. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to work in state government. Throughout my state employment opportunities, the missions and responsibilities that I've had at the Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority, the Department of Health Services, hello, and here at the Department of Administration, they have all allowed me to improve, protect, and support the lives of others. When I first came to work in state government, I didn't realize how much of an impact it would actually have on me as an individual, and as I rekindled my love to serve, I realized how much working for the state actually aligned with my values of putting the needs of others first. We are part of a family in state government. We don't work because we are looking for fame and fortune, but rather for the dedication and the compassion to help. Virginia Hart certainly paved the way for many women, and as I think about her and what this award actually embodies, I think about being an advocate, fostering service and leadership in others, building trust, encouraging diversity of thought, and having an unselfish mindset. While it's not always easy, I certainly push every day to have the courage to be the best and represent those traits. I am especially proud and fortunate to be able to contribute to the success of this great state, and just thank you again for the recognition of this award.
Congratulations again, Trina. And now it is my pleasure to move us forward in our ceremony to our next speaker. So please join me in welcoming our Lieutenant Governor, Mandela Barnes.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations once again on the very well-deserved honor. I want to thank you, Governor Evers, First Lady Kathy Evers, and everybody for being here today. Now, one thing we're mentioning a lot is forward progress and togetherness. All of this talk this morning makes me think about the work that is to come and the strides that it took to get us to this point. And that's why I want to acknowledge the importance of the DEI work and that momentum. And I also want to remind people that there was a time where it wasn't always this way. DEI was seen as sort of a dirty word. It wasn't embraced by people who should have embraced it, and as a result, so many people slipped through the cracks. So many people did not get the access to opportunities that they have worked so hard for, that they earned and they deserved. So that's why it's been important for our administration to make sure that we pick up the ball, we do the work to do our best to right the wrongs, but also make sure that there is a more clear path for others. Now, intentional efforts to be inclusive and equitable are strong magnetic force that not only bring us together, but also keeps us unified in our efforts to accomplish all of our shared goals. At the end of the day, we all want the same things. It's the foundation of creating a sustainable path to continue this work as well. And although this work requires a collaboration and the participation of us all as a community strives towards the advancement of equity, often starts with the footsteps of individuals. As they say, it only takes one, but we can't get the job done with just one. It takes all of us. But sometimes it does just take that one who's willing to step out and speak out and demand more, demand better. And although, these are the leaders that we recognize in our institution as mentors and as advocates, also as a unifying presence that inspires us all to join their walk towards creating a more inclusive, more diverse workplace, culture, and community that welcomes and empowers all. Wisconsin has been at the forefront of these things so often. We've led the way, but it takes that intentionality, and it also takes being very deliberate in our actions to get us to this place. Now, there are individuals who do this work, whose impact and their legacy endures generations, making sure that those who come after us have it a little bit easier than we had it. Those who work often motivates those that they touch in every capacity to continue carrying the torch, whether it's by interaction or whether it's by working with individuals. Now, the people we'll honor today under the individual award categories of the Diversity Award, you're not only trailblazers in your field, but you focus your entire careers around providing equitable service, creating inclusive spaces, and elevating diverse communities. I look out and I see a lot of people in the crowd that I've had a chance to work with before, people who I know have a passion for making things better, people who I know will not settle for less. And that's why I'm proud to be a part of this administration, to serve alongside a governor who shares these values, a governor who has been committed to inclusion, a governor who's been committed to taking us that one step farther. As we know, in this state, we deal with a lot of startling statistics, a lot of disparities. And you know that we'll never fix any problem until we admit that we have one. And to have a leader who is willing to acknowledge that things have been wrong in the past is something we haven't always experienced. And it is because of that acknowledgement that Wisconsin is already in a much better place than we have ever been before. But I'll say it again, that work does not happen without you all. The people who don't just exhibit this in the workplace, but live it and breathe it. Now, the Diversity Award for Outstanding Leadership and Lifetime Service embodies a commitment to transformational change and also acknowledges those who are rising to meet the challenge every single day. To present the award for outstanding leadership, I'm incredibly honored to introduce my friend, someone you all know. You've seen her on Facebook, selfie after selfie. Couldn't even walk in here today without the selfies. But I'm really proud of the work that she's done, seriously, over the years before I even showed up, you know, and to be able to offer at least some level of support in the work that she's doing. And I'm sure each and every one of you, or at least so many of you, has come across her before. I can't think of many more dedicated people, and I'm sure anybody who knows her can say the exact same thing, and that's exactly why she serves as vice chair of the State Council on Affirmative Action. Just want everybody to give a round of applause to my friend, Corinda Rainey Moore, everybody.
Wow, I can get used to being called a friend of the Lieutenant Governor. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor Barnes, for that remarks. My name is Corinda Rainey Moore, as was mentioned. I am the Vice Chair of the State Council on Affirmative Action, and it is my honor to introduce the next award, the Outstanding Leadership Award. The Council created the Outstanding Leadership Award in 2019 to recognize those state employees who emerged as change makers, as movers and shakers, leading the charge for a more equitable and diverse workforce. Since its inception, the Council has received many competitive nominations under this category, and this year was no exception. Though it was difficult to select one winner amongst so many deserving and inspiring nominees, the Council is proud to have selected Dr. Michelle Robinson, Director of Office of Health Equity in the Department of Health Services, as this year's Outstanding Leadership Award winner. We were especially impressed by the pioneering work she has done as an inaugural director and the leadership she has provided to DHS in accomplishing their health equity and DEI goals. In her nominations, leaders across the entire breadth of DHS spoke to her drive, her passion, her expertise, and most of all, her effectiveness. Among several accomplishments, her peers discussed how in only 10 months, she has inspired new approaches to how DHS delivers its leadership development programs, resulting in the most diverse classroom in the program's 6-year history. The Assistant Deputy Secretary of DHS, T.R. Williams, stated that Dr. Robinson has been able to assert the validity of the work of the health equity as not just being the right thing to do, but the necessary thing to do because of its direct impact on all aspects of the work DHS does, and that our employees do while including those who don't believe in the validity of this work. We are saddened that Dr. Robinson was unable to attend today's ceremony due to a tragic personal event, but we would like to invite Cecilia Cupp to the stage to accept her award and provide some remarks in her absence. Cecilia.
Good morning, everyone. I will be speaking in Michelle's voice. It is with the highest esteem that I accept the State Council on Affirmative Action's 2022 Outstanding Leader Award. This is truly an honor. As Cece reads this, I have likely been on the highway since 4 a.m., heading to New Jersey to support my best friend as she lays her mother to rest. Cece is a senior health equity advisor at DHS, and she has my permanent gratitude for agreeing to be my voice today. Thank you, Cece. And you're welcome, Michelle. I wish I could be there to celebrate with each of you so that I can pay homage to the other honorees as well as the intention which I believe underlies these awards. I believe that intention reflects a belief that government and its leaders, whether elected, appointed, or hired, are responsible for correcting past and current injustice, that we are creating organizational environments where every individual stepping into a role serving Wisconsinites can experience a workplace where they feel valued, respected, and that they belong, and that we are working to ensure that our government truly works for everyone we serve. Last year, only 4 days after stepping into this role, I sat in the balcony of this room as my new colleagues accepted a diversity award for their tenacious leadership and vision in stewarding the creation of the Office of Health Equity and strengthening our agency's statutorily required affirmative action body through the creation of the Health Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Council. It is serendipitous that today, only 4 days prior to my one-year anniversary, that I have been positioned to receive such a recognition. And I say positioned intentionally because this award is less about me and is more a reflection of the leadership and efforts of so many others, including the Office of Health Equity team, Shireen Ohadi Hamadani, Kim Peroto, and our former intern, Lena Hassel, who consistently provide bold leadership while operationalizing our vision and our programming, and doing so with care, respect, and consideration for those we serve within and outside of our agency. DHS's Director of the Bureau of Human Resources, Jesse Wheelgett, who has been such a dedicated and committed partner and collaborator, and who I have found an unexpected camaraderie with over a shared belief that we should not just do the easy things, but be committed to the hard work of finding ways to do the things that would have the greatest impacts. My boss, Secretary Designee Timberlake, for her bold and consistent leadership and partnership. When it comes to this work, she goes beyond moving boulders and carrying water. She has made the success of this work a personal priority. My colleagues on the executive management team for the countless ways they support me personally, including by nominating me for this award, and who are driving this work forward within their programs and among their teams. And last but not least, the thousands of DHS staff who have shown themselves to be committed to being leading learners, recognizing that to be good leaders in this work, we must be great learners and show up to do the work. Without a doubt, I am proud of what we have been able to accomplish in less than a year, but I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that this recognition also feels premature. The work has just started, and there is much more work ahead if we are to achieve true organizational transformation. But as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who attributes this quote to the transcendentalist theologian Theodore Parker, once stated, "Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." But I'd like to add, let us also realize that the arc does not bend by chance. It bends because it is made to. Let's get to work bending that arc. Thank you to the State Council on Affirmative Action and the Division of Personnel Management for this recognition.
Now I would like to welcome Karen Nelson, the SCAA member, to the stage to announce the winners of the Lifetime of Service Award. Karen Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. As a lifelong DE&I practitioner myself in my day job, I think I have the best job on the program today, and that is to introduce to you the Lifetime of Service Award winner. This award was created by the Council in 2019 for the express purposes of recognizing those long-term employees who have consistently marked their careers with dedication, but not only that, action, in the advancement of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace and in their communities. Winners of this award must have served the state or university system for no less than 15 years, lifetime. The Council again received several strong applications in this category, and was challenged to select only one winner. We were up all night, y'all. This year's winner was described in her nomination as an internationally recognized expert in the fields of mentoring, diversity, and positive relationships at work. She has an extensive record of contributions and service to the Academy through many activities and initiatives during her not 15, 24-year tenure at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. None other than Dr. Belle Rose Raggins has also contributed her knowledge, expertise, and time to advance equity, diversity, inclusivity, and student professional mentoring initiatives at UWM. The council was honored to have selected Dr. Raggins for this year's Lifetime of Service Award. She has dedicated her entire career at UWM to championing DE&I initiatives in her research, publications, and as a leading contributor to the development of several campuses, academic and community efforts to advance the field of DE&I. Unfortunately, for health reasons, Dr. Raggins is unable to join us today. In so doing, and in her place, in lieu of, I would like to welcome my former professor when I was at the Lubar School of Business, Dr. Dick Marcus and Alejandro Lopez, to the stage to accept this award on behalf of Dr. Raggins while we play her recorded acceptance speech.
On affirmative action, and Dr. Chia Vang and Dr. Dick Marcus, who nominated. I am deeply honored to receive this award. I'd like to thank the State Council on Affirmative Action and Dr. Chia Vang and Dr. Dick Marcus, who nominated me for this Lifetime of Service to Diversity Award. Although I'm unable to be here today due to COVID and health issues, I would like to take this opportunity to thank those who made this possible. Diversity work is hard work, and no one does it on their own. I have been fortunate to have a chancellor who is a champion for diversity, Chancellor Mark Money. Mark walks the talk. I have known him for over 25 years. He recruited me to UWM back in 1996, and he is a true ally. He leads by example and has an unfailing and steadfast commitment to diversity. He recognizes that our university, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, plays a pivotal role in changing lives and creating career opportunities for our BIPOC and first-generation college students. Education is the key. It's the stepping stone to opportunities and life choices. Mark's leadership has made a difference, not only in the city of Milwaukee, but also throughout the state. I'd also like to thank Alejandro Lopez, who has run our business school's mentoring program for the past 10 years. The program pairs up our BIPOC business students with professionals in the community, and it has been a tremendous success. We now see former mentees coming back to UWM to mentor our students of color. The program's success is due to Alejandro's unfailing commitment, her dedication, and her vision. It is an honor to work with her. Last, I'd like to thank my dean, Kaushal Chari, for supporting Alejandra and the DEI initiatives at the Lubar College. We have just launched a new graduate certificate program in DEI leadership. We are the first and the only business school in the state to offer this type of certificate. This reflects his leadership and his commitment to diversity. My dean understands that business schools have a special responsibility for educating our future business leaders. We need to equip them with the skills, knowledge, and the abilities needed to create and to sustain inclusive and equitable workplaces. Now, more than ever, we need business leaders who value and prioritize DEI in their workplaces. The future of our state depends on our ability to educate and to prepare our students to work in and to thrive in diverse workplaces. We need to give them the perspective-taking skills to reach out across differences and to see differences as a strength. UWM makes a difference, and I am grateful to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Dr. Murphy. Thank you all. Now please join me in welcoming my colleague, fellow council member, Carleen Beshen, to the stage to introduce our honorable mentions in these categories.
I'm really glad that thing's gone. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. As Corinda and Karen mentioned, there were so many deserving nominees under these categories that we could not go without recognizing a few more of the standouts. I would like to ask the honorable mentions to please stand when I read your name. In the category of outstanding leadership, we would like to honor the Department of Public Instruction's Ananda Murilli. Ananda is the Network Grant Director on the Special Education team for her has a strong commitment to social justice, not only with the Department of Public Instruction, but within her community and throughout the state. I had the great good fortune of meeting and working with Ananda years ago when she initiated the Restorative Justice Program in the Madison schools in her role at the YWCA of Madison. So there we go. We'd also like to honor Tamara Mao, Director. Tamara is the Director of Partnerships and Equitable Practices in the Department of Public Instruction. Her work creates a shared community for educators across the state to learn collectively, explore their shared histories, and work towards healing and liberation. Like Ananda, I had the good fortune of working with Tamara in the Madison schools. Her influence began well before her days at DPI. Through her work in the Madison schools, Tamara has touched the lives of every educator and student in the Madison schools. Please give another round of applause for these two wonderful educators. We would also like to honor two Lifetime of Service nominees. First, Gail Johnson of the Department of Health Services. Gail has been a state of Wisconsin employee for over 30 years and serves as the inaugural program director for the National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program. She is described as a tireless advocate for the people she serves, uplifting the voices of some of Wisconsin's most vulnerable populations. We also honor Tara Wendricks today. Tara works in the Department of Corrections and has been with the state for 21 years. She is the Assistant Regional Chief of Region 2. Throughout her career, she has been an advocate for underrepresented employees, incorporating DEI principles in all that she does. Please give a robust round of applause for these two honorable mentions to the Lifetime Service Award. And now I'd like to introduce the Director of the Bureau of Equity and Inclusion, who leads by example. Larice Lincoln will come now to provide remarks and present the 2022 Diversity Award.
Good morning. What a glorious day. Oh, yes. This is the portion of our award program where we recognize the Diversity Award and the Ann Lydecker Educational Diversity Award recipients. When I started in this position about 4 years ago as Director of Equity and Inclusion, I was acutely aware of the importance of this work. But what moved and inspired me the most was the support and commitment of the workforce at every level and in various positions to take on this challenge. I must acknowledge that with every step and every advancement, my staff and I have felt the support of the people sitting behind me and the people out here in the audience in front of me, providing resources, guidance, and strong leadership. Together, we have identified common purpose and accepted the responsibility of building better, with our vision rooted in the possibilities of tomorrow. Today is just a sample of what has been accomplished, and we are just getting started. The SCAA established the Diversity Awards in 2000 to recognize the achievements of outstanding affirmative action and equal employment opportunity practices among state agencies. The Diversity Award is structured to recognize state agencies for their strong commitment to the recruitment, retention, and promotion of a diversified, classified workforce. This year, the Council selected the Department of Workforce Development to receive the 2022 Diversity Award for undertaking an initiative to increase recruitment and retention of a diverse workforce. This multi-layered, comprehensive initiative builds internal accountability, provides training and support to staff, and further develops avenues to recruit, retain, and promote a diverse workforce. Please welcome DWD Secretary Amy Pahasik and Deputy Secretary Pam McGillivray to the stage to accept the DWD Award.
Thank you, Director Lincoln, and thanks to the members of the State Council on Affirmative Action. Thank you, Governor Tony Evers and your entire administration, fellow awardees, and distinguished guests. It is truly an honor to accept this year's Diversity Award. DWD is committed to making Wisconsin a fair and just place for all people to live and work. To meet this commitment, we know our workforce needs to mirror the diversity of the people in our state, as this helps us better understand and connect with the individuals we serve. And we are well aware of the disparities across different communities throughout the state, including disparities in access to job opportunities, such as lack of access to childcare, transportation, housing, and other factors that impact employment. Additionally, because DWD promotes equity across our state's communities by enforcing fair employment and fair housing laws, providing support for individuals with disabilities, and providing job training and apprenticeships for some of our state's most marginalized populations, we recognize that our internal practices better be the best in class. And DWD is proud to have one of the most diverse workforces among the state agencies, and we are even prouder that our employees consistently rank us very high on equity and inclusion metrics in our annual engagement surveys. But we wanted to be even more intentional in our DEI approach. And so we began a recruitment and retention initiative in early 2022, and we brought together 20 diverse leaders from across all our divisions to identify improvements to our organizational processes that would help us advance our DEI goals. Under Deputy Secretary Pam McGillivray's executive sponsorship and program sponsorship from our Division Administrator of Equal Rights, Jesus Villa, and our HR Director, Tammy Hack, the group was asked to identify what DWD could do to continue to attract and support a workforce that reflected the diversity of the people we serve. So the group got together, they began analyzing our current data and processes, and they identified some action steps, both immediate and long-term, that could have a really positive impact in this space. And these include adopting a DEI accountability model for all of our staff, increasing training for supervisors, including training on understanding bias and cultural differences, assisting external job seekers in navigating the civil service hiring process. Because, you know, if you know, you know, it's a little tough. And we really wanted to focus on those job seekers from historically disadvantaged backgrounds. We're requiring DWD supervisors to conduct stay interviews with all staff to better understand what we're doing right so we can continue to improve on those and make sure that people are engaged in the agency work. We're developing a best practices checklist for creating equitable and inclusive job descriptions and postings. We developed an IT apprenticeship program at DWD. We're strengthening workforce planning by utilizing a DEI data dashboard, and of course, promoting membership in and the activities of the DWD Equity and Inclusion Committee. While there is much more work to be done, as we've heard from all of our speakers today, the project team continues their tenacious focus to advance DEI because this work matters. And these values resonate through our everyday recruiting, hiring, work culture, and practices. And I am proud to accept this award on behalf of all DWD staff in recognition of our efforts to fulfill these ideals for the great state of Wisconsin. Thank you.
Right. The message is clear. Ready or not, here we come. Forward together. Thank you, Secretary Bahasik and Deputy Secretary McGillivray. Now I would like to give a warm welcome to SCAA member Elaine Cadres, who will announce our next award winner.
Good morning. Thank you, Laurice. My name is Alain Cadres, and like she said, I'm the member of the State Council on Affirmative Action, and I'm the chair of the Diversity Award Committee. So in addition to the annual Diversity Award, the SCAA began recognizing institutions of higher learning in 2003 for their exceptional efforts in preparing people of color, women, and persons with disabilities for employment in the state of Wisconsin. In 2004, the award was named the Ann Lydecker Educational Diversity Award to honor UW River Falls Chancellor Ann Lydecker. This year's Ann Lydecker Educational Diversity Award winner is the University of Wisconsin Stout for the work of its program, Stoutward Bound. I love it. Don't you love just how it sounds? So this program demonstrated a high retention rate for students from underrepresented backgrounds. It is a supportive program connecting the university to Wisconsin's marginalized student populations and helping to ensure their success. To accept the award for UW Stout, I would like to welcome Quinn Brooks, Assistant Vice Chancellor of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and Mai-Ku Shong, Interim Executive Director of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, to the stage.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Wonderful, so we had to pause for photos. I'm a little shorter to the ground, so I hope you all can see me here. But good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Stoutward Bound is a program that we are extremely proud of at the University of Wisconsin Stout. So Stoutward Bound was established in 2007. And including this current year, the program has served 535 historically underrepresented and underserved students at the University of Wisconsin Stout. And these are students that have participated in the program at the point of entry, and we continue to support them throughout their time there. So Stoutward Bound is a program that is designed to support students in their transition from high school to college. And we do that by providing them with a living and learning community. And what that means is that when students enter our university, they are coming in a little bit earlier. That was done intentionally to ensure, right, that they get acclimated to the university. They're introduced to support systems that would stay with them during their time. And that includes peer mentors who used to be part of the program, and they come back and serve as peer mentors. Teachers and faculties who teach in the program, and they teach through a DEI lens. This also includes the wonderful and dedicated staff of the Multicultural Student Services who serve as advisor, coordinates the program, and follows and tracks their progress along the way. They intervene when there is any type of whether it's academic, social, cultural, or personal challenges that the individuals may be facing. The office in itself is also a representation of the identities of the students who are part of the program. All of these things are extremely important to the success of the program, including its partnership with the various offices across campus, from housing to dining to academic offices to our career services and financial aid. All of these offices are part of the student's college journey, and they are essential to student success. And the program would not be successful without the support of our Chancellor, Chancellor Catherine Frank, who has dedicated resources to this program in order to grow it. And that was also done with the support of the UW system. And the program in itself, and we are very proud of this, we have established a new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion office at UW Stout, and that office is directly supports the Stout Brown program, and that's under the leadership of Dr. Quinn Brooks, who is also up here with me today. So I say all of this to share that the program is a success because of the people who are part of the program, right? And that includes the student. They are the start. They trusted us to guide them in this journey. They invited us to be a part of their journey, right? The program doesn't exist without them. And the program's success is with all the partnerships and the individuals who put the student first. So for that, although I'm up here to accept the award, it is the task and the efforts of many in order for this program to be a success. And as already mentioned, the students who've participated in our program have gone on to be retained at a higher rate than their peers. They have also participated in leadership positions and in various roles across campus. What does that show? That shows confidence, right? And that shows that they are coming back and contributing, right, to the ethos and the environment, and coming back to serve in the program as peer mentors as well. So all of these are really important, and these programs are important, and these programs are in place to create greater college access, greater student retention, and greater graduation for our historically underrepresented and underserved students, who then in turn, as many of you have mentioned today, right, enter our workforce, diversifies our pool, right, and hopefully someday we'll be sitting here in this space. So with that, it is my greatest honor to accept this award on behalf of UW Stout's Stoutward Bound program. Thank you.
Congratulations again to our individual winners, to DWD and UW Stout, and now it is my pleasure to welcome for closing remarks, Secretary-Designee Kathy Blumenfeld.
Thank you, Jen. What an exciting and incredible day. Really, as the governor mentioned early, our goal throughout the administration has been to ensure that in every way, Wisconsin works for everyone. That's what diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging are all about, and why we take the time to honor and celebrate the folks in this room today. I must mention our own Virginia Hart Award winner today, DOA's Trina Zanow. As the administrator of DET, you are truly our unsung hero, and in too many ways to count. Congratulations, and we're so grateful to have you representing our state. The work you do and the work that is done by each of you here today, each of the award winners, is what makes it possible for us to truly move forward together. This work never stops, and we must continue the work. It requires us to make sure that our state workforce is representative of the people of Wisconsin, and that we not only continue to be an employer and a partner of choice, but we create the workplace where everyone from all walks of life can be seen, can be heard, can be included, and where they can rise to the top. That's our responsibility. And our award winners and our speakers here today take this responsibility to heart and make it a reality. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, live your beliefs and you can turn the world around. I'd like to say thank you to all our awardees today for living your values and helping us turn our world around. Your passion, your dedication, your impact, it's undeniable and it's inspiring, and it's making a difference each and every day. I'd like to congratulate each of you one last time with a big round of applause. And as we close out the celebration today, I'd just like to remind everyone to meet us in the parlor to help continue the celebration with some refreshments. And again, thank you to all, and congratulations to all the diversity and all the award winners here today. Thank you so much.